Very nice weather today. Let me just share to you this wonderful Tuesday morning here in Canada. Right now, I think the distance from here to that park would be around maybe 1.5 kilometers. I think those cars are going to interfere with my audio, but not as much as the wind, I'm guessing. And right now I'm just enjoying the weather. It's really beautiful. You know, back home in the Philippines, I used to bike almost every day. That was my main exercise. My friend's daughter, she studies violin in that school. So it is really very good. Here in Canada, you have that. There are some after-school activities that children can do. So rather than just stay and play with their cell phone and tablets the whole day, I think the most productive way to do is to enroll your children to activities like that, like learn how to swim, play violin, play music. At least these are skills that they can use in the future. Who knows, right? Yeah, speaking of cell phone and tablets, it's really in this era, this generation, children are addicted to playing games and watching videos on their devices, which is becoming really very concerning. It's going to affect their health because they don't move as much, so that's not good. Because children, they need exercise, especially in a day like this. Going out is really good. Taking that natural vitamin D in, right? During my time, children always stays outside playing with their friends until nighttime. I remember getting scolded by my parents whenever I go home late, because we're having so much fun. But children nowadays, they can just sit around in their house playing with their video games like PlayStations and cell phones. And I think one of the bad effects of children getting used to this kind of environment, is they're also losing their social skills. So most of the time you see children, you see young people, they're so isolated and they're very, very private. Because they fail to develop their social skills, because they have a lot of friends online, right? But they're missing the physical and social interaction that a person needs, to boost their confidence and to develop their social interaction skills, which is very important, especially when it's time for you to work, right? And Also, one of the reasons, according to studies, why there are incidents like mass shooting is that violence in video games, it becomes very normal now. Like shooting zombies and shooting people in video games is being normalized, so makes children kind of jaded that it's like okay to die or to kill other people, which is crazy. And there is a big connection with regards to actual violence, and they resort to those kinds of behavior, especially when they suffer from bullying at school, and in some countries they have access to firearms, which makes it double dangerous. You know what I mean? I heard that in some countries you can just go to a shop like Walmart, right? You can just go to a Walmart shop kind of thing and just buy firearms, like you're buying Gatorade or something like that. It's crazy to think that that's a thing in other countries, and then people are surprised why a lot of mass shooting is there's some increased cases of mass shooting, because that's what happens. And if you can enlighten me with more information regarding the reasons why people commit mass shooting, and what are the factors that contributed to people to commit such terrible acts, which is always devastating in both sides, right? Because what the shooter ends up doing is kill himself after killing a lot of not just people but also children and teachers. Usually happens in school. I guess part of the reason is a lot of bullying, of course, happens in school, right? They occur in school, so there's a lot more incident like that in school, which is very sad, very unfortunate. Anyway, we are getting close to the park that I told you about. It's the McQuiston Park. It's really very naturey. You can walk around and relax because you're surrounded with trees and nature. Right now I'm over a bridge. Yeah, nice. And also I feel like this generation is correct me if I'm wrong, and please don't be offended by it, because it's just my personal observation, personal opinion. But one of the causes why people suffer from severe depression is that is because of their confusion over their identity. Identity confusion is an identity crisis. If you're a person that don't even know who you are, that creates a lot of problem. And people, people sometimes they decide to do such things because of course that's their own decision, and people are free to make their own, to make their own decisions, to find their own personality, their own identity. But I feel like when you remove yourself from your biological God-given identity, why did I say God-given? Because a lot of the gender confusion comes from environmental factors like when you're surrounded with people that feeds you not necessarily lies, but their own agenda, their own belief, their own thoughts, and they try to influence a very young person with their very young mind, then confusion starts. Say, for example, you have a son, and then you are dressing him with female outfits and with female toys, then that creates a confusion. And then you would call it, what do you call it? You call it choice, right? But children cannot choose for themselves yet. Rather, what we have to reinforce is truth. Because if your life is, based on truth, then you can guard yourself from lies. And what happens is that a lot of people, they live in their own fantasy. They want to realize those fantasies and turn them into their own reality. But the problem is, you can do whatever you want, right? You can make your own reality, that's fine. And people, you can persuade people to a certain degree to respect your reality, but not everyone is going to agree, because at the end of the day, we live in a real world. We live in this reality. Now, once you feed that boy, your own personal belief and fantasy, then it creates a confusion to the child. Then what happens is that along the way, that child is going to be an adult and will suffer a lot of depression, because he himself doesn't even know who he is. He doesn't even know his own identity, and he has to fight every single time for people's acceptance. So that's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. So that when he is old, he will not depart from it. So what kind of training are you applying to your children? Is it a holy and righteous training? Is it based on reality? or is it based on fantasy and confusion that leads to depression, leads to destruction? So yeah, so please don't, don't hate me. It's just you can leave your comment and tell me what you think about that. I'm maybe you can say I'm a bit conservative and very traditional. So I came from the Philippines, and this I'm open to Western thinking, but just based on my observations, this I think are the risk or the predisposing factors why depression and confusion and mass shooting and bullying happens. Yeah, tell me what you think and leave a comment, and I'll see you in our next video. God bless.